and welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for the sign of Virgo. All right, Virgo, it's all about you. This is going to be for December 22nd to the 28th. We're going to get right into pulling out your romance angel messages for this week. All right, this is a general reading, but I do pull romance angel messages for my weeklies just to see, the nature of your more intimate relationships this week. And please do remember that not all of these messages will resonate with everyone. And so if it doesn't apply to you, just let it go, All right, guys, let's see what your messages are for this penultimate week in 2019. We have honeymoon. Enjoy the holiday, the bliss of holiday time together. We have wedding. Oh, beautiful. This situation involves marriage. And we have free yourself. So it's time to take back control of your life. It's quite interesting. Quite nice, right? Very simpatico messages there. But let's get right into your animal spirits. Now, animal spirits can come in the forms of individuals, characters, and personality types of individuals you may be dealing with this week. They can represent energies that are becoming available to you, or they can represent paths or stages in your life that you're entering into. And again, just like with the romance angel messages and with your spreads, just take whatever applies to you. Not all of these animal spirits will resonate with all Virgos, all right? And of course, like I said, sometimes these animal spirits can represent others that you're dealing with, other people that are coming into your life this week, or significant players in your life. All right. We have the beaver. Water energy. Beautiful, beautiful, strong. We have the firefly. All right. It's air energy associated with great bouts and spurts of inspiration. And we have the dragonfly. More air energy. All right. So let's get right into it. The beaver. One of the ways we interpret animal spirits is really to understand the nature of the animal, right? And so this is why we call them animal spirits. And the beaver is a very sort of goal and task orientated creature. It's a very earthly creature, but they do make their homes in dams that they build in rivers, right? So in this way, the beaver resonates with water energy, alchemical symbol for water at the top of the card. And the beaver works tirelessly, right, to maintain a supportive and protective environment for itself and those that he or she loves, right? And so in this way, the beaver is one of these type of people that make sure that their families are nurtured, right? That the environment that they raise their families in are healthy, and are emotionally balanced, right? Emotionally nurturing and supportive, especially when we look at this creature being a water element spirit, right? I'm talking about, the beaver is that type of mother or father that just makes the home life warm and inviting and supportive, right? It's very, very strong. And one of the things that beaver is absolutely known for is just its tirelessness, right? Just ability to keep working away at a task until it is accomplished. Now, the firefly is air energy. And just like the fireflies in nature, the firefly is associated with great bouts of inspiration. They come and go just like that, right? And so it's at a time in our lives where we need to be paying attention, right? We need to pay attention to everything that's going on around us, especially if we're feeling a little bit dull, if we're feeling a little bit uncreative, right? And we're looking for inspiration. Firefly energy can absolutely come in, but it's so quick and so fleeting that we really do need to keep our eyes open. We need to pay attention. And the inspiration that comes in can be a result of anything, really. It can result from sort of just listening to the right song, perhaps, or just seeing a certain message that comes into your purview, right? Whatever the case may be, it comes in, and it comes in quickly. Now, the dragonfly is also more air element, and the dragonfly is associated with the Lord of Light and illusion, right? associated with the mind. The dragonfly is sort of the mascot of the mind, because the mind is of course associated with air energy. The mind is very sort of shimmering, and you know, our thoughts are very quick. Sometimes we can't quite grasp them. Sometimes we believe we see things that are there that are not quite as they seem, right? And so with the dragonfly, oftentimes, you know, you ever see a dragonfly in the wild? Have you ever sat by a river or a lake and you see the dragonflies fly across the surface of the water? They seem to be there and not to be there. Oftentimes they're synonymous with sort of fairy energy in a way, because they're not substantial, right? It's not like we know exactly, you know, or we see them exactly for what they are. And in this way, we do need to take care when we're resonating with this kind of energy that we remain grounded. Sometimes we have to take what we think we believe to know from a situation with a pinch of salt, because we may not be getting the entire story, right? Or the way that we are perceiving it may not be what it is in reality. All right, guys, so let's get right into it. Virgo, we're going to pull out anywhere from 4 to 6 3-card spreads for you, just to see what you may or may not be going through this week. And again, just like all of the other messages, just take what applies to you. If it doesn't apply, let it go. I want to see a clear reading for this second to last week of 2019 for our lovely earth sign of Virgo. The ancient sign, really. One of the oldest constellations is the Virgo constellation. All right. All right, Virgo. Straight out, we have the Empress, Knight of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. All right, some of you are coming into this week. You're very sort of involved with sort of nurturing yourself, right? Pouring a lot of energy into yourself, taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. Empress energy, of course, the divine feminine, talks about being very, very receptive, caring, creative, extremely creative. But more than anything, Empress energy talks about a time in our lives where we are really sort of taking care of ourselves, feeding our own selves, keeping ourselves fertile, you know, our creativity fertile, you know what I mean? By feeding it, by pampering ourselves, right? You know, the Empress isn't beholden to anyone but the Emperor, and so she lays in the garden of her own making. Oftentimes the garden is just reflective of who she is on the inside. And so in this way, Empress energy is when we sort of really sort of begin to come out of ourselves a lot of times, you know. When our lives begin to mirror the qualities that we have inside of ourselves, Empress energy is at play. Certainly when we're wanting to maintain our strength and our creativity energy, Empress energy is at play. And so this is a real pampering week for you. This is a real me week, right, for Virgo. And it's very, very good. You come into this week and you're met with the Knight of Pentacles energy. I think you come across someone who is sort of on their own path, right, in terms of their own career path or their business path. And it's almost as if their path and your paths cross, right? And something about it really intrigues you. Something about this Knight of Pentacles really, really intrigues you. It's almost as if they have caught your eye, Virgo, right? And they really inspire you, right? This is a feeling of firefly energy being at play. Something about their work ethic or their whatever their career is or whatever their goal is. You know, they're very, Knight of Pentacles is a very focused knight, very determined. Although he's a slow knight, he is the one that will reach his objective because he's very methodical and he's very enduring, right? He has sort of that stamina to keep on going until he reaches his goal. There's something about this Knight of Pentacles. It's a great inspiration to you, Virgo. And you round the week off with a Page of Pentacles in the sense that I think they open up a side of yourself or an interest in yourself that you have in whatever it is they're pursuing, right? It's almost as if a friend or a relative or someone new, it doesn't matter, comes into your life and suddenly opens up a possibility for a whole new sort of avenue of work or project or objective that you want to become involved in a very practical way. So with Page of Pentacles, it's kind of like you begin to sort of investigate how you can become a part of this, you know, whatever this objective that this Knight of Pentacles has. You know, they may be working on humanitarian efforts. They may be working on, you know, whatever it is. They may be working on some kind of career objective or some kind of business objective, but something about it has really inspired you, has really gotten you interested, and by the end of the week, you absolutely begin to sort of plan and talk about how you can also become involved in this particular area of your life. Justice, Ten of Swords, Ten of Wands. 2 tens in Justice. Well, balance is certainly coming in. Some of you are waiting this week. I'm going to say some of you are waiting for a judgment to come in. This could be a business decision. This could be a divorce decree, a separation decree, some kind of rendering, some kind of judgment, some kind of balancing, right? A real balancing is coming in. That's what Justice is all about. This is, of course, the card for Libra, the main tarot card for Libra. But, you know, it's always, Justice always comes into our lives when things have been out of balance, when perhaps we've been paying too much of a karmic price. It's time for karma to come into our favor or what have you, right? And so it's quite interesting because you're met with a Ten of Swords and you round the week off with a Ten of Wands. So it's like, yes, for a long time, for some of you, you have been on a path in your life that has really been through, has really caused you a lot of pain, where you've been through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of swords to the ego, you know, a lot of blows to the ego that you had to pick yourself up off the ground and sort of dust yourself off and keep going. But that stage is over. You know, you're met with the end of that. And subsequently, you round off the week with the end of burden as well. Not only is it the end of a painful, difficult time of perhaps strife, a lot of strife, maybe even a lot of arguing, but you also absolutely let go, and you're allowed to let go of any burdens that you have accumulated as a result of this time. And I'm going to say for some of you, this is absolutely a decision that you're waiting for. A court decision of some kind that will free you, right? Free yourself is one of the messages for the week. And this is absolutely, some of you, absolutely freeing yourself. Whether it is freeing yourself from a terrible marriage that was abusive, or freeing yourself from poverty, or freeing yourself from an environment where you've had to carry a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders. Whatever the case may be, you have two very powerful tens here, with the Justice setting it off. And absolutely, Virgo, some of you are having a very official judgment or opinion or rendering coming into your life that has a very, very, very real impact on your experience and on your ability to say goodbye to a difficult time in your life. 3 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and 7 of Swords. So 3 of Pentacles, some of you come into this week really working on your career. You're just carrying on, right? 3 of Pentacles is all about sort of works. You know, this is the card for works, and sort of, it's like when we put our mind, body, and soul into something, right? And we really sort of are devoted to it as well, because 3 is the number for bonding and loyalty. And this is a kind of a devotion to your work, a devotion to seeing your work progress, certainly your career. If you're an artist, oftentimes this can be as well a career progression for artists, for those who are, you know, are working in a field that's close to your heart. It's not just like you're punching a clock, right? Excuse me. You're not just punching a clock. You're not just showing up, you know, 9 to 5. This is something that you love to do, but you also make your living doing this. And so in this way, you do put your mind, body, and soul into it. So you're coming into this week with a really strong work ethic, definitely Beaver energy, and you're met with a Hierophant, right? Quite interesting, because the Hierophant can oftentimes represent a spiritual teacher, that has come into your life, a guide, right? Something or someone who's come into your life that has caused you to double down your commitment to your spiritual sort of path, right? Or your spiritual beliefs, your moral center, right? Can can indicate increasing your commitment in a relationship. Can indicate that you are deciding to call in more aspects of spiritual judgment, right? It could be that, you know, in your work, you're starting to sort of look to a higher level, right? For instance, if the type of work you do is something to do, let's say, with the public or with a certain portion of our society, the Hierophant coming in can raise your sort of desire to maintain a certain morality in that work, right? To maintain a certain level of fairness and goodness, and you know, to increase, to bring your personal spiritual beliefs into that work. You know, sometimes you meet someone who may be a very devout Christian. Well, they infuse their sort of values as a Christian into everything that they do. This is said to be Dharma, walking the path of Dharma oftentimes, you know. And so something occurs this week that really gets you to sort of, yes, to get you to sort of raise your level of engagement to one of a higher sort of moral standing. But you round out the week with a Seven of Swords. Someone is working behind the scenes to sort of take your dreams, to sort of take what you have, okay? And I think that really, as a result of you sort of seeking a little bit of a higher moral road, or seeking a little bit of a higher sort of spiritual connection in your everyday work, right? Someone in your life you're going to be finding out has been probably trying to stop this. It's almost as if the Hierophant has come in despite the activities of someone who's been working behind the scenes, right? Someone who's perhaps been working to try to pull you further away from your spiritual center, right? To get you to be more pessimistic about it, right? Seven of Swords is the card for treachery. It's also the card for futility. This is somebody who is not willing to work for the things they want themselves. They'd rather steal it. They'd rather take it. This is my dream thief. You know, I call it the dream thief card. And usually it is somebody very, very close to you. So take care this week. Just as you're doubling down on sort of your spiritual path and how that affects your day-to-day workings, somebody else is doubling down on their desire to sort of interfere with this. Their desire to sort of have what you have, right? For those of you who are increasing your commitment in terms of a relationship, or you're maybe taking it up to the level of engagement or wedding, right? With this Hierophant, someone is working behind the scenes to scupper that as well. So just take very close care. You may not find out about who this person is this week. It may not be for another week or two, but you certainly are becoming aware that somebody has been sort of instigating themselves into your life without you knowing it, and causing a lot of upheaval, just as you are sort of trying to, you know, increase your commitment and maintain your stability. It's almost, you know, the closer you're getting to what you want, the worse they're getting with their tactics. You know what I mean? Because they're so jealous. And now that they see you making this commitment, the spiritual commitment, or perhaps this commitment in a relationship that has a knock-on effect on your work, they're even more jealous and they want even more of what you have. So just take care. This person will eventually become clear to you. You will find out who they are if you don't know already. The Devil, Eight of Pentacles, and the Sun. This is going to be the last spread. Some of you are coming into this week really sort of like being tested, right? You're kind of like, all right, you know, what do I do? What do I do? I want to hang out. I want to party. I want to have that instant gratification. Some of you perhaps may be making some money. Your finances may be increasing. Whatever the case may be, this week, you're coming into certain events, or certain events are happening that are sort of testing you, because the Devil is sort of an internal struggle that we have, an internal power battle that we have with ourselves, of whether or not we're going to take the easy road, which can lead to addiction and dysfunction, but is really the road of instant gratification. Or if we're going to take that higher road of the Hierophant, remember this is the 15, you just have the Hierophant, which is the first 5. So it's like, which way will you go? Will you become a slave to your passions, or will you sort of humble yourself to your higher spiritual calling, which requires a lot, all of your commitment? Which way will you go? And so this week, you're very much, for some of you, you're very much presented with this sort of conundrum, as it were, this sort of test, as it were. And you're met with Eight of Pentacles energy, in a sense that I think that you kind of see this devil energy coming in for what it is, that it is a distraction, that it's only going to serve to satisfy you in the short term, and in the long term, you will not be satisfied. And for some of you, you double down on your commitment to your job, commitment to the task at hand, to mastering something perhaps in your career or your art or your field. And you realize that this requires discipline and this requires boundaries. And part of those boundaries are keeping the things that would normally call you, right? What we associate with devil energy, that instant gratification, or that sort of like, expressing our passions, in a very sort of irresponsible way, It could be drinking, partying, shopping, dysfunctional relationship, whatever the case may be, this instant kind of gratification. You're realizing that it's not worth it, and you're doubling down on your work. You're doubling down on being disciplined. You're doubling down on sort of enforcing your boundaries, so that these ways and these sort of options, right, don't invade what you're trying to accomplish here. By the end of the week, you are in sun energy, in the sense that you have full reaffirmation coming in that you made the right decision. You have full affirmation coming in that ultimately your satisfaction through this discipline and work will be so much greater than the immediate gratification that you may have gotten through whatever this was for you. And the sun just kind of comes in to give you more confidence and to sort of get you to it's almost like a feedback loop, in a sense that you feel even more sort of committed to your work, even more committed to your discipline, and even more committed to turning your back on sort of things that are not going to sort of serve you in the long run. And you really feel like you are where you're supposed to be, And also, some of this feeling that you normally would get from the devil, that instant sort of like, instant gratification, but sort of this satisfaction that you get from, doing these activities. And I say these activities because they're very different for everybody. Some people get that instant gratification from shopping, or some people get it from drinking, whatever the case may be. It's addictive sort of attitude. The sun really comes out for you by the end of the week and really, really shows you that you can get the same sort of satisfaction, but deeper, warmer, richer, and more long-lasting by putting the work in, by disciplining yourself, by turning yourself away from these sort of instant sort of satisfactions to satisfactions that take a little bit more work to achieve, but that last so much longer. All right, guys, this is your reading, December 22nd to the 28th for Virgo. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and share. All of that stuff helps me grow my channel. Leave me a comment. Don't forget to leave your bell on just for the next couple of days, because I will be announcing the winner of the Spirit Animal Oracle deck that I'm giving away on my channel. Of course, all you have to be is subscribed and let me know you're interested. But in the next couple of days, I will be announcing the winner. So if you can just turn those notifications on, just at least for those 2 days, because if I name you, I'm going to be asking you to email me and send me your address for the deck so that I can send it to you, right? If I don't get a response within a day or so, I'll have to move on to the next person that I choose, all right? And it is a random choosing, so anyone could be chosen, all right, guys? But for right now, I'm just going to say, Virgo, have a wonderful, wonderful penultimate week of 2019, and I shall see you next week for the final weekly reading for 2019. Bye-bye, guys.